Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps. It is I, your host, the most Renaissance man who always thinks he can. And oh, yeah, you're champion of the peeps. Oh, felt good. Patty Pitts back once again in the Yard Streams for another edition of the Raw Rewind, part of Pitts and Sara's wrestling show, where we take no nights off. And we don't just rewind Raw and talk wrestling here. Take no nights off here without the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Brain farts suck. Don't you hate a brain fart?
I feel like
I literally
sometimes
had
that's
one.
why the clip of Scott works, because he's like, okay, hurry up, go on. That's me in my head to you sometimes when you're just like,
I just start royal rambling. Like I have a glitch.
You've not
where
been
it's just, I
sticking
stop.
to your usual script. I think that's what's getting you messed up. Because like usually
You know
you
what
say the same thing, and I feel like you're trying to say something else, and that's what gets you tongue-tied.
You know what it is? It's because we are now officially no nights off.
Mm-hmm.
And we...
Yeah, but you had come up with a way to incorporate that, and then you like forgot it. I don't know.
We're gonna get it right. All right. That's what it's about when you move forward, which is what we're doing. Moving forward on the road to SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, and it's freaking gonna be good. This is a real good segue or topic to open the show. I was watching a Cultaholic video on the 2010 SummerSlam. Okay, and that's why I texted you asking if you were in attendance, because I wanted to give you your flowers. I'm not going to be a dick like everyone else on the internet and say, hi, you were there. No, that's commemorable, okay, that you suffered through it and are here now to a glorious era. But I bring it up because, oh man, if the 2010 card was what we were getting and what we were going to have to talk about on Thursday for the predictions, it would really make doing this and holding this belt really fucking worthless. I'm not going to lie. Because it was awful, that card, and the way that you have a chance to build up a future of the business, a future faction that could change the game. You squash it with your Captain America, and that's the least of your issues on that show. I mean, Sara,
I don't even remember it, honestly.
Exactly, Sara, you were there, and you don't remember it.
No, I remember.
You know what it was, though.
No, I don't. Oh wait, team. Is it Team Nexus versus Team?
Yes, Circle gets square.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the most exciting thing about that was the go home Raw, because I think I don't remember where it was. San Jose, maybe. That was the night that they introduced that Daniel Bryan was the final member of Team Cena or Team WWE, whatever. And then they all like got in the ring and whatever. But the crowd was so crazy that it was like shaking the camera. So I remember that. And I remember that was really exciting for it to be Daniel Bryan, because he had just been fired for choking Justin Roberts with his tie. So that was a huge deal, the fact that Vince McMahon actually decided to bring him back. And I don't really remember that much. I remember not really caring about that match because of everybody that made up that team. If you really want to do it, I'm not trying to diss the man, but like, I don't care. I do not care about a crippled Bret Hart being in that match. Like, people are like, you need to respect him. I'm not saying I don't respect him. Who?
I'm sorry. I thought you were about to name all the Nexus members.
Oh no, well, yeah. I mean, that's like Michael Tarver and whatever. Yes. But no, I can name them all.
Do it.
Oh well, it was Wade Barrett, Heath Slater, Michael Tarver.
You got Tarver.
Justin Gabriel. Skip Sheffield.
Who is
Ryback.
There it is.
That's it, right?
I
No, Darren Young.
That was it. That's it. You're missing him.
Okay. Yeah, that's it, right?
No, you're missing one more. Because it was 7-on-7.
Oh, who else?
It's all about me. It's all about the power.
Oh, Otunga?
Yeah.
David Otunga. You know what was weird is I knew David Otunga from when he was on I Love New York.
That's even weirder.
Yeah, that's how I knew.
Not weirder, crazier.
It was weird to me because I was like, and then he married Jennifer Hudson and had a baby with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird. It was very
wild
weird.
time in the wrestling world.
Anyway, so yeah.
So what's
well, and I have to remind people that's not when I became a fan of
No, but you were.
That was when I finally had a job that allowed me to go to shows that I wanted to go to. So that was why I started to go to. It just happened to be during that era. So
that was your peak. Like, I'm back into it. You got into it as a kid. Then you're like, oh, I'm a real wrestling fan, but I got it.
Yeah, and then it was like, I have money now.
You're in the worst. You're in just a shit time, but you're like, fuck it, it's wrestling.
Well, and I mostly wanted to go for meeting the wrestlers and stuff, and like Raw and SmackDown was fun. I mean,
I will never say no to a wrestling show. Doesn't matter where it is.
That's
WWE,
not true.
Indies.
You've decided not to go to multiple, so
different.
They were just in Boston like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, here's the thing. One, when I'm offered, it's, hey, I got an extra ticket. Let's go.
Okay.
You cannot even. But problem is when you wake up at 4 a.m. and serve the great people of Boston at some of the best restaurants in Boston, you have to be on your A game. So sometimes sacrifices need to be made, especially in the fish game. So what's up, Bernard? How we doing? Over there ranting in the stadiums. We got David 1, and Bernard, it was David Otunga. God, he was such a great lawyer to John Laurinaitis, just top notch. But enough about John Laurinaitis. Let's talk about the current product and how amazing it is, and enough about the 2010s, because it is not then, it is now. And I actually do not remember this much excitement for a pay-per-view I was going to sit home and watch in a long time. Like, excitement. Like, I'm canceling plans. Like, I want to see this live. I have not had that feeling since probably before Mania, and I don't even count Mania because I was going there. Different level of circumstance. Are you on the same page as me? Are you?
No.
Do you feel me, Sarah?
No. I think that there's going to be good. I think matches are going to be good, but I've made my mind up about how I think some matches should go, and I don't think they're going to. Oh. And I think that I'm already pissed off. So, yeah. So
okay, that's that seems like an issue, not an issue me.
Whatever.
Because that's just. You gotta be open. Sarah.
No,
we gotta be open.
No,
because what's going on is we're gonna talk about.
The signs are already there that they're gonna ruin things. So
God damn it, we need the power of positivity.
No,
it's a new day. Yes, it is.
No.
Okay, well, I hope the peeps agree.
And Logan is not going to win. Jay, stop. You just are saying that to irritate me.
No, I've been positive on a lot of things that I'm not.
Logan Paul winning is they would literally see fans revolting in real time. Dude has defended his title twice in over 200 days.
I'd be pissed.
And he doesn't show up to Raws or SmackDowns, has never wrestled on a Raw or a SmackDown. And we're lucky that he'll even be there on Friday. And is it in Cleveland? Like, is it in Cleveland? Yeah, that's the only fucking reason he's going to be there.
I know. I didn't want to say it.
Travel more.
I didn't want to say it.
But he wants to be a full timer. He just doesn't want to use his own private plane to get there. I'm sorry. Whatever. Anyway, so Raw kicks off with Seth Rollins, and let's talk about this for a second because this became a hot topic online, and it's insanity. Okay, insanity. Who cares what Seth Rollins was wearing on Raw?
Oh, you're gonna take it good.
Okay, and who cares what he might wear as the special guest referee at SummerSlam? First of all, Who cares what he's wearing for a segment on the Go Home show? Why the hell do you care what he's wearing? And how does it have any impact on the seriousness or the volatility of this match? That makes no fucking sense at all. You're just a weirdo.
Say with the chest.
Yeah, it's just Dave Meltzer. You're a weirdo.
Yeah, it's Adam. Why don't we let's just act
acting like a what is a puffy sleeved, like, who cares?
It's
bro?
a puffy vest. It's a puffy vest.
It was a puffy shouldered top.
Sleeve.
But the thing is like I'm sure you saw it, but Stephanie Hypes posted like pictures of other previous guys who were special guest referees. Cena, who was wearing jorts as a special guest referee, but no one has an issue with that. We see LA Knight wore a cutoff and a black leather vest as a special guest referee. No one said anything. And we've seen Shawn Michaels wearing, that's the one you know, and it's like, that's Dave, you have an issue because Seth is wearing more flamboyant clothes. Just say what you're thinking. It's the same reason why you probably don't like Pretty Deadly, because you're very uncomfortable with straight men being more flamboyant. That's the issue that we're getting at, correct? Man. You just don't know how to say it. Because honestly, why does it matter what Seth's wearing? I don't
care. Sarah, I don't care what Seth's wearing. I'm happy he's wearing it because it makes sense. I think it's hilarious. But at the end of the day, I don't care. Like, it's so minute.
It's such like a juvenile mindset to have, I feel like, because honestly, I noticed his outfit, right? Because of course they panned to it, because even McAfee Cole mentioned that he had striped shoes, and McAfee was like, they're zebra print, idiot, you know? So they showed his shoes, but I was not thinking about his outfit whatsoever throughout this segment. It had no bearing on what was happening. So the fact that then we were having people argue over him somehow discrediting this buildup or something was weird. So I just had to bring that up because I'm like,
I'm glad you did, because I didn't want to lead that charge, but someone had to say it.
Yeah, it's very weird. You did. Very weird.
I'm very happy you did, Sarah.
So with that out of the way, because apparently that was a huge deal, we then have this long commercial-free segment between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, which some people think was, I just saw Bully Ray was talking about it on Busted Open. They feel like Seth coming out and initially saying, you guys can't touch each other before SummerSlam or the match is off, and you can't touch me, otherwise the match is off. Bully Ray and some others felt like that completely derailed the entire segment because it took out the anticipation of something potentially happening or whatever. I can see that to a degree. But I'll say it, I'll take issue with it simply because I feel like that was only part of the segment, or Adam Pearce only implemented it as a dig at Drew McIntyre. I don't think it was there was no consideration of CM Punk. Like, if we're talking about who put hands on who, not in the ring or during a match, it's been McIntyre, not Punk. So I think that was just weird. But at the same time, we hadn't heard anything about what Seth was going to do, because we had just found out that he was going to be a special guest referee. So I was still intrigued to see, okay, what is he going to say? Otherwise, I thought that this segment was good. We still saw Drew antagonizing Punk.
True. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah, Punk was still trying to act like a tough guy, which I'm sorry, I can't take it. Because I'm like, you really think, like, if we're really talking about these two guys like facing off to each other in real life, come on, brother. Come on, brother. A 6'4", 280-pound dude is not scared of you, Punk. Like, but in wrestling world, we're supposed to believe, you know, Rey Mysterio can beat the Big Show for the World Heavyweight title. So I guess we're supposed to believe.
Yeah, we're in the Wrestleverse, baby.
Yeah. Just call me baby. Oh my god.
Did you like it?
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, Seth coming out and kind of going to disagree with Bully Ray. Is that I like
you are,
it.
okay.
I don't believe that it derails the segment. In fact, I I see it as Seth laying down the ground rules and showing that he's the enforcer, not just some puppet.
Well, and can I say one more? I want to make one point about that. I also think that people forget that in a match that's like this contentious between the people involved, you almost don't want to see them get physical on the go home show. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
like you want it to wait until the show.
Like that's what you like. Seth is not just a referee who's like, listen, I don't care what you're gonna do, beat the shit out of each other, whatever. I'm just here to do the 1, 2. It's like, no, you're gonna do what I say. It's like, oh, there's a little tension there.
Yeah.
A little hatred for both parties, like the Easy even said, as much as I hate Drew McIntyre, I hate CM Punk. And with him laying down the ground rules, it sets up future feuds. It's going to set up something down the line with Seth and CM Punk for a little bit with Drew and Seth back again. Like they're doing and they're placing the pieces in a very meticulous way where you have to focus and realize that, okay, yeah, it's a little weird, but why? Like this is a different era. Things matter in the little details that you see with, just the littlest of things.
I think that this match is too highly anticipated for them to like waste some of that energy by fighting on the Raw before SummerSlam. So from a certain standpoint, I see what Bully's saying and I hear him, but I also think that like, I don't think that ruined the segment. I think that it just added fuel, which is why I was going to say, I feel like this made a lot of people, and I'm not saying this was the only thing. I think a lot of people are looking forward to this match simply because it's been the past 6 months of build up. CM Punk is finally cleared, so that's exciting. And this is something that people were hoping we were going to see specifically at SummerSlam. But I think this did help some people get a little bit more excited about it, whether it was the antagonizing by Drew, Punk saying he's like gonna beat your ass, blah blah blah, or the addition of Seth. I think people were excited after seeing this as the opening to the show. I don't really think that it did the opposite like some people are acting like.
No, this was to compare it to something. It was like a nice SNL monologue that hits.
Yeah,
good monologue. Like it gets you excited for the show. You're like, all right, now I know what's gonna happen between we got that weird BS segment out of the way of laying down the ground rules. Now we get on with the show. All right.
Yeah.
And we're excited. Perfect.
Yeah, I think they did a good job. So I'm like, I think that there are a few matches that I honestly think could rival the WWE title match to be the main event. I really do not think that Solo versus Cody should be the main event. I think that it might.
Good.
But I don't think it should.
You're on my side. Good.
But this is the thing. It's going to be the main event if Roman's returning, which I still don't think that is like, I don't even think it's a 50-50 chance. I still am kind of like 60-40. It's not happening.
Not happening.
I don't.
Are you on? Do you smell something, Sarah? You smell someone's movie wrapping up filming.
I know, right? My thing is well, because we talked about this, I just still don't. To me, like everyone's just like doing this countdown about Roman returning, and we've talked about it saying it's only because SummerSlam was the first date post Mania that he was advertised for, and everybody's like on that, because it's now this weekend and everyone's assuming, okay, it's still happening. But I think when you think about it from a storyline perspective, I still don't see a way for Roman to sensibly return right now, or why SummerSlam would be the path for that. I feel like it just needs to make sense. And right now it doesn't make sense for him to just pop up. Like, I don't know. So for me, like, I'm not counting on it happening. If it does, then it does. I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't know what could happen between SmackDown to SummerSlam that would convince me Roman coming back right now makes sense. But I mean, I think that it's going to lead to a lot of good storyline with The Rock and the bloodline and OG bloodline and the bloodline 2.0 and whatever is going to come of that. I just don't know that we're at a point that Roman has to return, and I think people might be setting themselves up for a little bit of disappointment by deciding that he is returning. Because I don't know that I don't feel like we've gotten any indication of that coming true, but
to me,
you think the opposite. I know.
No. I see. I'm on your wavelength, but just different. Just a little different. With the news of The Rock's movie wrapping up and the way this Bloodline 2.0 is shaping up,
it's The Rock's, yeah.
It makes more sense for The Rock to show up now at SummerSlam than Roman. And I hate to say it, but why does Roman need to come back right now and reunite everybody? Jimmy may not be 100%. Jay's still doing things on Raw and is still on another show. And you want to keep building up the Bloodline 2.0 to where they are like a truly unstoppable force.
Yeah.
And that would be with the guidance of the final boss.
Well, because to me, okay, so right now we know that Solo is going to be facing Cody for the WWE Championship. The assumption... Gunther! Sorry, he fell.
Chopped.
Got chopped. The assumption is that there's no way Cody's losing, right? So that's just the assumption. I'm not saying that's the truth because it is possible, I guess, that Cody loses. But wouldn't it make more sense for Roman to return if Solo won the championship? Why would he return because Solo lost?
Yes.
Like, that doesn't really make any sense to me because as of right now, we haven't seen any validity to Roman being pissed off at Solo and what he's done and being the tribal chief. That's all in our head because of what Solo's been doing and what the Bloodline 2.0 has been doing. We assume he's going to be mad that he is now calling himself the tribal chief and wearing, the necklace and what he did to Paul Heyman, but we haven't seen anything on screen yet. So we can't say with certainty that Roman is going to come back and he's going to be pissed and take out the Bloodline 2.0. We can't say that because we don't know. If we're talking about what's happened in front of us and in wrestling, we can't say that. So why would he just return to take out the Bloodline 2.0? Like, there's nothing there for that to make sense. You know what I mean? It would make more sense if, like, he came back and saw that Solo beat Cody. He could either be pissed that he took his WWE championship after he lost it at Mania, or he could come back and want to, like, congratulate Solo for finally becoming what he always thought he could be or something like that. Or even The Rock could do that. But that would have to be us believing that they would take the title off of Cody and put it on Solo Sikoa. And that's
that's
tricky.
A different conversation.
Yeah.
That's for Thursday. That is a conversation for Thursday.
And we can talk about it, but that's why I'm saying, like, I'm still just I'm not sold on Roman coming back. In my mind, I just don't see any reasonable but why would Roman return to cost Solo? Why? Yeah, but see,
You're asking the good question.
I don't know.
Though. No, that's not a why.
I don't think that's
not a why. Because you gotta think of the why.
Well, the thing is in wrestling, a lot of it is from what they want you to, like, base things off of is what they show you. It's not supposed to be something that you're supposed to assume or infer, like right now we're supposed to believe or we're assuming that Roman is going to be pissed at Solo. We don't know, though. In our minds, we believe that The Rock is the reason for the Bloodline 2.0, but have we seen anything to tell us that that's what's happening? No. Look at what happened with everything that we saw in the lead up to WrestleMania 40. Everybody thought it was going to go a certain way. They pivoted and did something completely different. It did not happen. So that's why it's like, I like the unpredictability factor, but I don't like things that don't make sense happening. And I think Roman returning and doing anything other than, like, celebrating Solo winning at SummerSlam makes sense to me. That's the only thing. And I'm not even saying I want Solo to win the title. I'm not saying that. But him losing, Roman returning, makes no sense to me. Roman costing him the championship makes no sense to me. Like, we haven't seen the beef between them. It's just, it would all be assumption. And I feel like in Triple H's era of wrestling, he doesn't want you to assume these things. Like, he shows you things that he wants you to be like, oh, what does that mean? Or, oh, that's what's really happening. This isn't something that we've seen yet. It's just been Solo being like, Roman's not coming back. I'm the tribal chief. Okay, but we don't know what Roman's thinking. We don't know what Roman's saying. You know what I'm saying?
I do know exactly what you're saying.
Okay, I just didn't know if I was making sense because
I'm just saving my thoughts.
Okay, I'm sorry, I went off.
I'm just saving my thoughts.
Okay, so moving on to the OG Alpha Academy versus Alpha Academy 2.0 ends in the Wyatt 6 unmasking. So, the match between the Creeds and the Alpha Academy, you knew how it was going to be. We finally see Maxine get involved. She gives a big old slap to Chad Gable, finally. So, like, there's progression in that storyline because I think, to me, I'm just not invested in this anymore. I feel like they took too long to get to this point. I think they took too long to get to this point. That's why, I mean, there's even some people saying, I don't agree. I think it was Tommy Dreamer that was like, Otis is a star, but they like let that fizzle. I was like, Otis is not really a star, but he did get a lot of support, but I think that they took too long to make the new Alpha Academy for now this to be happening. Like, I think that people were invested like 4 weeks ago. Not as much now.
Yeah, but it's not about the Alpha Academy and Chad Gable. It's about Chad Gable versus the Wyatt 6.
Well, I'm talking about their story right now because that's been a story for
no, but while.
I'm just talking about the match. I'm not talking about the Wyatts yet. But to the Wyatts, because Chad Gable is a little meanie pants, we do hear the Wyatt 6 music. We see Nikki Cross come out and she actually performs a wrestling move off the top rope. And then we finally see the unmasking of Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, and a legitimate hardcore looking Dexter Lumis. I don't care what anybody says. And I cannot say that. Also, that's another thing that I learned.
What?
When we were talking about
what can't I say anymore?
The steel chair headshot thing, I apparently say at the beginning, like, I don't care what anyone says. And that has deterred people from watching the video because I said I didn't care what anyone said. So I shouldn't say that.
How rude, Sarah, of you to feel the need to share your opinion.
I know.
Rude of you.
I responded and I said to somebody, because I got multiple comments about it. I was like, I said it because we're talking about something serious like head injuries. So I don't really care if you don't agree with me because it's right and wrong. It's not really like, there's no gray area here. It's like, I would rather not see people get CTE. I don't know. Like, if that's something that sounds cool to you, that's for you. But anyway, Dexter Lumis looks sick. I don't care, okay? People were saying he looked kind of silly because of the dread extensions. That man did not look like the same human being. When I first saw it, I was like, is that Dexter? Or are we being duped right now? Like I legitimately was questioning if that really was him. Like, that's how cool he looked, I thought, anyway.
I am obsessed with I don't know if Joe Gacy. Yeah, Joe Gacy did it. The power bomb into the elbow drop. I mean, Oh my, like, I just think Dexter Lumis could be a high flyer. And to be honest, that was not the first thing I thought of when I saw him not talking with Indy and feuding or stalking The Miz. Like,
and we heard him
unbelievable transformation where I was like, oh, it's Dexter, to where I am obsessed. I want to know what the hell is going on with him. I want to hear him say more than just run.
I know, but that was huge.
That was I felt that. Like, I felt that in here.
It was terrifying the way he said it.
Was, oh my God, it was horrific.
I think the best way possible. People were kind of overlooking the fact that he spoke. I didn't really see many people talking about the fact that Dexter Lumis actually said something.
Because they
it's
like a little kid getting a gift card. You know what I mean? Like, I
guess. But
that's exactly what it is. You got what you want.
Yeah, it was just, I felt like that's pretty impactful though. You know, I mean,
very impactful.
His entire gimmick in NXT and his brief stint on the main roster was that he was a mute. So like, so anyway, I like what they've done with him, and I think, you know, maybe his transformation is extreme for some, but I feel like it just fits the vibe. Like, if they're gonna go about this the way that they are, I think that he needed to have a physical transformation, because I don't think the way he looked before really fit with the vibe that they're trying to portray. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else kind of organically just fit that anyway, and he was the only one that I think didn't. So I think what they did with him was great, and he's clearly dedicated because he grew out his beard, grew out his hair to have extensions.
The dreads are insane.
Yeah, like he's going for it. So I appreciated that. And then we found out later in the show, after Chad Gable was trying to act like nobody ever knew who the Wyatt Six were, which I love that even Adam Pearce is like, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I love that it's a running gimmick. It needs to continue to be a running gimmick, please.
It's so Kurt Angle-y, so that's why I kind of love it. Yeah, so it's like, if they're going to play that up, then I love it, because it was kind of ridiculous that he's sitting there trying to act like he's like uncovered something and no one knew, but Adam Pearce of all people is going to know because he signs their contracts. Like,
so yeah, that is Eric Rowan.
Yeah. So Gable and the Creeds officially decide that they are going to challenge 3 of the Wyatt Six members to a 3-on-3 match next week on Raw, which appeases a lot of people, especially in our YouTube comments, who have been saying that they need to be in the wrestling ring sooner rather than later. While I think neither you or I agree to that, we now know that they will be debuting on Raw next week. But I have to ask, because it seemed like it was a bit of a controversial decision for some people, because there are a lot of people who believe that the Wyatt Six should be debuting in a wrestling ring at a pay-per-view, and why not do it when SummerSlam is this weekend instead of it 2 days later? Do you feel like it was appropriate decision to do it at Raw and not SummerSlam?
Yes, because of a little bit of what you said already. It really isn't the time for them to debut, and by them I mean the unit of the Wyatt Six. You don't need Bo Dallas, Uncle Howdy to be wrestling in matches right now. There's no reason for them.
Yeah.
But on the other end,
well, I don't think he is.
Give Joe Gacy. Huh?
Is it? Were they meaning that they wanted it to be Bo and not the 3 guys that were there?
It doesn't matter who. This is
okay. I assumed that it was going to be Gacy, Rowan, and Dexter.
No, it's going to be Gacy, Rowan, and Dexter. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, I didn't know if I missed him saying the names, because sometimes I don't always listen.
No, it's Gacy, Rowan, and Dexter.
Okay.
And you need to get them on. You need to, because they're the ones that you know the least about.
Yeah.
You need to put them in a wrestling ring so you need at least know something. Where Uncle Howdy, even Nikki Cross, she has her own thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason for her, really.
And there's no woman involved with the new.
That's the other thing. Where Uncle Howdy, he's the the higher power, the being. You know, he's the talking head, mouthpiece. He needs to be the one that doesn't get into a ring unless it is a big occasion. Like, they are the henchmen, and what a better time than have them on than Raw when they weren't getting any time a year ago.
Well, and I think, you know, the group was highly anticipated and people are appreciating what they're doing so far. But I think Bo/Uncle Howdy is the one that is the most anticipated, and people love when he shows up. I mean, the pop that he gets, because he showed up at the end of this segment and was just laughing. I think holding off on him doing anything is brilliant, because I think that should probably be made into like a big deal. Like you said, that could probably be like Bo's first match back, you know, as Uncle Howdy or as Bo Dallas. That should be on a pay-per-view. Maybe not the one that's considered the WrestleMania of the summer. And we know that Triple H is trying to keep the card as small as possible. But I think that could be built up to being something treated important whenever that might be. And I still don't even think that needs to happen anytime soon, because I don't think that he needs to be in a match right now. I think they're doing enough stuff that's exciting and compelling, and I don't know, that they don't need him to be like wrestling somebody for it to be like, oh, okay, we need to appease some of those people that are complaining. Like, okay, exactly. It's only a few of you complaining. So, anyway, okay, moving on to, I like some of the things that I named these banners, by the way, and this is one of them.
With the shillelagh twist is really
cool. So Bronson Reed versus Sheamus ends with Pete Dunne coming in with a shillelagh. Pete Dunne with a shillelagh.
I'm obsessed with Pete Dunne with the shillelagh.
Yes, with a shillelagh. Pete Dunne.
It's so good. It's so good. Pete Dunne with the shillelagh.
Pete Dunne with the shillelagh. So, I mean, I'm happy, one, that Bronson Reed's still on TV. I am very intrigued by him. I like to watch him in matches because that is a big, meaty man that slaps meat. And he puts on good matches. I don't care what anyone says. Apparently, I can't say that. But you know what? I don't care what you say about Bronson Reed. Okay?
There it is. Live the gimmick.
Yeah. So, this match versus Sheamus, it was two meaty men, slapping meat, getting real sweater, as Sheamus always does. And Mr. Pete Dunne got involved, but this time, as I said, he used a shillelagh. So that is continuing. And I have to say, I still don't care. I'm just not.
What?
It's funny because who was it? I don't remember if it was Cole or McAfee that was like, why is Pete so mad at Sheamus? And it was like, because he left. And it's like, but that's not what happened. He got injured. Like, he physically could not be in the ring. He didn't just say, hey, I'm going on like a 6-month vacation. It's like he couldn't wrestle.
Yeah, I think it's more than that. I have a feeling they're going to go deeper than that.
They have to.
And that's what I'm excited for. Well, that's why this makes me interested in this feud, is because it's going to be more than just, oh, Sheamus left the Brawling Brutes because he got injured. It's like, no. Yeah. Look how you treated me as Butch, and now I'm Pete Dunne, or as we call him here in the other streams, Pete Dunne. I am not someone that is you can just push around like a little Butch and rabid wolf or rabid dog.
Yeah. So. You almost slipped in.
I don't know where we are in the Wrestleverse, so I'm just trying to censor myself when I can.
I think they have to give some context, because even when commentary is sitting there and questioning it on live television, they're kind of repeating what the fans are saying at that point. So, I mean, usually from what we've seen since Triple H took over creative, he tends to not really have these loose strings, in a feud or in a story. He doesn't usually let that continue. So I assume that we're going to figure it out at some point. For me, though, I just don't know that there's really any logical explanation for Pete Dunne's behavior. But I'm also not super invested in this storyline enough to really care. So as long as somebody is happy that it's explained and they listen and they're like, you know what, that makes sense. Good for you. Because I'm not in a position to care, honestly.
Listen, Big Boss Man made Al Snow eat his dog for a few. I mean, fucking anything's possible.
And, I still think at the end of the day that it's cool that Sheamus is doing this, because we know that it's an effort to try and help Pete Dunne become a bigger star and whatever. So, like, I can appreciate that. It's just not something I'm super interested in. Their match will be great. Like, whenever that happens, I'll be interested in that. I'm just not invested in whatever they're trying to do. Like, I'm just not. So, but again, maybe it's just not for me. Apparently I also like a lot of boring wrestlers, according to people. So, maybe that's it. Gunther being one of them. Keep getting people telling me Gunther's boring. I don't know.
Right there. Covers it.
Very rude. I know.
Covers it.
So, after we see that there has been a hurricane throughout the Judgment Day layer, we see Finn trying to stir the pot a little bit and say, hey, Dom, are you going to go deal with Sami Zayn and Jey Uso? Like, that was never finished last week. To which Rhea, in her lingerie outfit,
Yeah,
And
that was very Netflix.
Let's chill out. I don't need your comments about that. And Damien, well, you're a man. I don't need to know what you thought about her outfit. I don't.
That was all I was gonna say.
All right, I'm just saying. I was stopping you before you could take it too far. All right, that's it. They were saying it's not necessary, blah blah blah, but Finn is just like, what? Really? Like, you're really gonna let that happen? So that is when he offers Carlito to go and do it. So he goes and puts Dom in a match accidentally. Carlito does, and he has to go face Jey Uso in honor of Dom. He loses fairly quickly. I mean, really, it is what it is. Carlito got his baby oil because that was important
so
to him.
Funny. Oh
that was
my
very
God.
important.
He's been so good.
He has these one-liners that is so crazy. Like every single week, it's like, are they going to give us a new PS5?
That was it. That was the best one of the week. When he's like, "What about the PS5?" And Dom's like, "You gotta get the fuck."
But it's so accurate because that's all they do in the Judgment Day Clubhouse. They're always playing. Yeah. Also, shout out to JD McDaddy because this man cannot keep a straight face. Like he cannot do it throughout this entire segment and the other ones. Like he was like trying so hard to make it look like he wasn't cracking, and he was. And I don't blame him because even though they're trying to be serious, it's like some of this is so ridiculous. But
what are we gonna do about the PS5?
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing?
Yes, Carlito, that is so not cool what they did to the PS5.
Yeah, it was not cool.
Oh
we'll get back to more of Judgment Day stuff, obviously, because again, it was Monday Night Judgment Day.
It was sprinkled throughout the show.
But then we did see Miss Zelina Vega was beaten down by Team Forehead, which I take issue with. Okay, because some of us can't control that we have big foreheads. Okay, some of us were born that way, and according to Lady Gaga, we are beautiful. So, I think for the most part, the big thing that you can take away from this, of course, is that they are investing time into Zelina Vega, even if she is getting beaten up again, which a lot of people took issue with. But she is going against a new hot faction that a lot of people are talking about, Team Forehead. And this is trying to elevate Zelina to another level, even if it's not the women's world title picture right now, which wouldn't make sense right now anyway. No. Because there's so much going on with the Judgment Day and Liv and blah, 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 blah. So what I thought was interesting, however, was not long after we see Damage Control return, and they came back to take on the stud line. And I say stud line, guys, with love. Okay, I'm just taking what Michin said. Okay, because we talked about this where it was like that picture, from like WWF or whatever, and it was like the lesbians. Like, remember it was like it was just these girls. Line. Yeah. So no, it's boy. 2 in the pink.
No, but did Michin have the pinky out?
No, but I'm like, come on now.
No, I know she did. She did this. I know what.
So anyway, so it looks like
pinky's out.
It looks like they're still going to be trying to maybe push Sonya against Zelina. It seems like that might be what's going on here. But at the same time, Damage Control is 3 girls and the stud line is 3 girls. So it would seem like that would be 3-on-3. So I'm a little bit kind of confused about what direction they're trying to push this group in. Because I feel like they have their hands in a lot of things right now. And I'm not sure what their real direction is going to be, which, I mean, to a certain level, it's kind of exciting because none of it has to do with any title, I guess. I mean, the women's tag titles are irrelevant again, which I'm not surprised about. As much as I love the Unholy Union, they're still not doing anything with them, so we can't even say that is really anything, any involvement in this. We also don't have the women's title involved, so that's good. Like, they're investing time into making storylines that don't involve the title, which is something we've talked a lot about. But Team Forehead / stud line getting involved with Zelina Vega, and then, however many minutes later, now looking like they're gonna go against Damage Control, who are also supposed to be heels, is very confusing.
is quite confusing, but I don't even care because I like both kicking each other's ass. You need a feud right now between women where they just kick ass. And if it gets to like a semi-hardcore level where it's like a street fight, you know what? Give me some kendo sticks and let's beat the shit out of each other. I'm in.
And it's two different styles too, among the groups, you know, like obviously Damage Control is going to be more heavily Japanese style because 3 out of the 4 are Japanese wrestlers, and they definitely perform differently than Dakota.
3 out of the 4?
Asuka was.
Oh, sorry, you're counting Asuka in Damage Control, correct? Okay, got it.
Yeah, including her. And then of course the stud line, they're more like hard hitting, fighting background.
MMA.
Yeah, so
MMA background for all 3 of them.
I feel like a match between those two groups could be really, really good.
See,
and
here's the thing. It's that weird paradox or Venn diagram, I'd say, where that middle ground, it flows because, they're contrasting styles a little bit, but they're very similar.
Yeah.
In the hard-hitting combat, you know, where if the three on each team, 2 teams got together, I truly believe a street fight wouldn't be a bloody match. It's not one of those street fights you see on TBS. It's a street fight you see in the WWE where, weapons are involved, but strategically involved. And the real violence happens with the brutality, the kicks.
It's more about causing pain than like
it's
ripping you apart. So I think
that's the difference. That's the WWE difference.
And I think if they're gonna go about pushing these factions, then why not put them against each other? Because there aren't really many female groups of 3. So it makes more sense if you're trying to build them as a group of 3, then have them feud with groups of 3, you know? Because I get when they do this, you know, with the New Day, eventually they were going to have to figure it out. Like, okay, these 2 are going to be a tag team. They're going to be the tag team champions. And this guy is going to go for a singles title. Like, they have to do that. But I think that if they're going to try to build Damage Control and the stud line, whatever they want to call, I don't think that's what they're going by, but that's what we're going to call them simply because Michin did. If they're trying to build them up as a legitimate trio, then they need to go about it the same way that the New Day was treated, you know, where they were treated as a group of 3. So, and I think they've been doing a fine job at that so far. And shout out to Zoe, because I also love her hair color. She dyed her hair darker. I was
going to say, she changed her haircut a little bit.
I liked it. Very nice. I felt like it looked a lot better on her skin tone also.
Kind of right off angle for Zelina. I don't see that.
I could see why you think that, but I don't think she got hurt enough.
No, it's not that. You need, in this women's division, a true baby face. Like, I hate comparing things, but it's the only
especially
way
with Becky gone.
Becky gone, but Daniel Bryan, like a true underdog. That's the word I couldn't look for. A true underdog of the division. And Zelina really doesn't fit in any other category of these factions or, you know, Money in the Bank. Like, she's an underdog in the division, but she's talented. And if you want to go with that storyline, you could have some really fascinating and interesting feuds with a lot of different people.
Well, and I think that they might have just like eliminated her for a week or 2, maybe, if that. Like, I really would not be surprised if Zelina is back next week. I think it was more so like trying to get her out of their way. You know, it wasn't really like a point to it other than that, at least in my opinion. We'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens on Raw next week, but
we shall see.
Yes. And then I thought this was fantastic. We saw a video package for Rhea and for Liv Morgan, but this sparks like a whole debate, I would say. We see Liv Morgan burning all of her memories of Daddy Dom. She's outside. She has like the trash barrel full of fire. She's putting t-shirts and pictures, and she's talking about how she can't believe that Dom broke her heart, and she regrets all her tears for him, and she cared about him so much, blah, 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 blah. So this has, I was watching a streamer last night streaming Raw, And there were people in the comments that were saying, or in the stream chat, whatever, that were saying that, you know, they still believe that Dom is ultimately going to turn on Rhea and he is going to choose Liv. And we were thinking that as well, and that we thought it was going to happen at SummerSlam. And this streamer, and I saw some other people also think that because of this segment specifically, that is not happening, because they feel like this was a lot of effort for them to go through to try and convince Rhea, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
This isn't necessarily what made me question if Dom is going to choose Liv at SummerSlam, if at all. It was more so the Raquel post on Instagram that made me question it, and that is why I'm already pissed off about what's going to happen at SummerSlam. Because in case you guys missed it, I believe it was on Instagram, Raquel, or it was on Twitter, she posted something about, you know, a picture of Liv upset, whatever, and like did the eye emoji, like, oh, because there's talks of her returning, of Raquel returning soon, and of course she could be Liv's muscle to take on Rhea. She also had beef with Rhea before she left, whatever. I hate that idea. I think it's stupid. I think there's no reason for that to happen right now, and also kind of goes to the bad narrative that Liv can't beat Rhea on her own, that she would need muscle. I don't think that's necessary. But I also feel like this, I don't want to see them completely abandon this whole Liv with Dom thing. And that's why it kind of like makes me nervous, because I still think that it can happen. But then people also floated the idea of Finn being the one who was actually trying to get Liv into the Judgment Day instead.
From my thoughts from this are simply that this does not mean anything is set in stone. It still doesn't. This is Liv just hashing out her emotions like any brokenhearted person would do.
But do you think so if you believe what Liv was doing was legitimate, then you're saying there is no secret working with Dom?
No, there's working involved. What I'm saying is, like,
you think this is a manipulation tactic by them to convince them that Liv has moved on, or like whatever?
No, because I see this, and my gut reaction when watching this again was that Liv is doing this. Dom is going to inadvertently help Liv, whatever that is. I'm not even going to try to predict what it is. I'm just going to say inadvertently.
Be inadvertent. It can't be inadvertent. We just talked about this last week. It has to be purposeful. If he's going to turn on Rhea, it has to be intentional.
But no, but my thing is, it's not like you can do it.
It has to be
now
intentional.
that this whole segment now with her throwing the thing, like, that throws a wrench into this.
Okay, so you do agree with those people. You don't think now that it's going to happen.
No, I still think it's going to happen,
if at all.
No, something is going to happen. That's what I'm saying. And Raquel does not need to be involved for the actual payoff.
So you're saying you don't think that Dom is going to turn on Rhea at SummerSlam? He will eventually, but not at SummerSlam.
I can still see him doing it. It's like, now my brain hurts. You put my brain.
I think
there's so much to think about with this, Sarah. Like, I
agree with John here. He says he fixed it. He said if Dom does not turn on Rhea, then WWE blew his story. I agree with you. And he also says Finn turning on Rhea does not mean the same as
that
I agree.
Okay, that's getting the mind going again. There's so many questions just thrown there.
I would love for Finn to be involved in this. We've talked about that before. I would love for him to have also been a part of the effort of kind of like dismantling the Judgment Day from the inside out and trying to oust Rhea and Damian. I like that. I like Dominic actually falling for Liv, and what we saw from him last week of him telling her he hates her and he's disgusted by her, whatever, that was all a ploy, that was an act by both of them. I would love to believe that the burning of his belongings or whatever, that was also fake. And I would love for what?
Did you see the details on what she burned?
Yes. None of it was also personal items. It was like she could have just picked that shirt up from like printed photos that like, you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what.
Yeah, so that's why it feels like it could easily be fake. I think it's just there's certain things that just make me a little bit concerned. I mean, Dominic turning on Rhea at SummerSlam and maybe Raquel coming in to then help deal with the Rhea situation afterwards. Fine. I'm fine with that. I just don't want that to become the focus because I really feel like nothing against Raquel, but you becoming involved feels like the reason that they altered the story was to cater to you. And you're not involved in this.
That's what I'm saying. I hate throwing Raquel in there as a variable. It doesn't make sense.
Well, because the only reason I even bring it up is because of her post. So that's what I'm saying. It's like,
that's what I'm saying.
Is this her hinting? Because like I said, people have said she's returning soon. There are reports about her returning soon. So to me, it was intentional that she made this post and alluded to her potentially coming back, which I do think she needs to be a heel because I think she's boring. As a baby face. I think that's partially why she kind of floundered since coming up from NXT. But I do think, I think it would be a huge mistake for them to not have Dom turn on Rhea. I think that we've had two or 3 weeks of them being all like cool with each other. I think that's plenty of time. And I think most people have already moved on thinking that Liv and Dom are over. I would love for that to be like the climax of that match. We already think it's going to be a good match, but I would love for Dominic to do that because I think that would put the match over the top and make the storyline so much better because I mean, for the most part, if you are invested in the story and progressing it further, then you believe that Liv has to come out of SummerSlam the champion. If that's the case, there's not a whole lot to make that more interesting unless Dom gets involved, right? Like Liv retaining over Rhea, cool. Now what? If nothing else happens, now what? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Are you actually listening?
I am.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, I didn't know if you really wanted to say much about this, but Karrion Kross continues to haunt the New Day. He oh, okay. Well, you could have just said that, you know.
Moving on.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Karrion Kross continues to be a problem for the New Day, specifically Xavier Woods, because Kofi Kingston's off doing whatever. I hate that he shaved. Good for him that he won. I don't really have much to say about this, honestly. I'm just kind of like disappointed at this. I mean, I've said that I feel like this is the vibe for Karrion Kross, but I still am just like underwhelmed with what they're doing. I just don't think that they're doing anything to make people really interested in them, unless you are already interested in Karrion Kross to begin with. Yeah. So I don't really have anything else to say, but
I am very interested in this feud only on Raw. Like it is a nice story to watch on Raw consistently where it's just very simple. It's going to be a week-to-week story where it's not as big and does not take as much thought as, you know, or if, I don't want to say thought, but like interest and emotion than the other big ones like Judgment Day and the title picture. With this, it's just very cut and dry, and you just want to see Karrion Kross get on television, and he's being presented well. I have nothing wrong with how he's being presented, and to go after the New Day, which are the most positive of positive people, spreading the power of positivity, and he is, I would say, a version of Satan himself in a way, the darkness.
Yeah.
That darkness that we were alluded to. Not as dark as the bad gal over in the Nonsense Galaxy, but in a different type of embracing the darkness. And that's what New Day really haven't done. So I like that, just something simple like that. Boom. It's weekly Raw. You're going to get it. I'm not expecting it to be on the SummerSlam show.
Yeah.
It doesn't even deserve a pre-show match.
Yeah, no.
Even if the pre-show is 3 hours, still I don't want to see it on a pre-show match.
Yeah.
It's good. I don't mind it. Like I don't have anything, out of this world to say. And no, Sarah, it's great. Like to persuade you. Like it is what it is, and I enjoy it. Like they have to do that. It's just a part of the show. Not everything can be this grand payoff of a story culminating at a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Some things are just weekly. Like they're doing it with the Electric Carnival and Live in Valkyria. They're going to face one of the two, Studline or Damage Control, every week. And then the two are going to fight for who's the more badass crew. But you need that third party in there to get the other two. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Where New Day, it's something similar to that. Where, I'm going on a Royal Ramble here. So
that's okay.
We need to talk about something that is actually a good story. And I disagree with you.
There's a point to what I'm saying.
I know. I'm gonna let you.
Okay. So I'm
all ears.
In order to, Dom was not intending to have a match on Raw, nor was he planning on having a match with Sami Zayn. But when he told Carlito to go make the match official, Carlito, of course, made it for Dom and Sami Zayn and not himself.
That's cool.
So Dom was forced to take on Sami Zayn, and he couldn't even do that because Judgment Day interfere and end the match in a disqualification, which makes Sami the winner. So the reason why I thought this was significant is because it goes along with all the matches that Mr. Daddy Dom was winning when Liv was in his corner, and how many times he loses when he is aligned with Rhea. So that's the only reason why I was hoping for Daddy Dom to lose, because I was like, all right, well, that might be like, maybe that's the straw that broke the camel's back, leading up to SummerSlam. He's going to be like, oh, wow, I went out there and I said I would take on Sami Zayn, even though I didn't want to. And I was going to do it for Rhea to show her, like, I don't let these guys disrespect her. You're my mommy, blah, blah, blah. And he still couldn't do it. So I don't know. That's the only reason why I felt like this moment might have some sort of significance. Otherwise, it was just another match that ended with Judgment Day interference.
To me, it shows who's on what side. It seems like it was an order given by the real leader of the Judgment Day, Finn Balor. See what I mean? Like Finn.
Yeah, he's stirring that pot.
Yeah, told them, hey, go help Dom out in that match and take care of Sami Zayn. And Dom may have asked for it, may not have. That's not the point. The point is that they went out there because someone told them to do it. And I can tell you one, it wasn't the Terror Twins. It was the Demon. Well, not the Demon, the Prince.
Yeah. Yeah, because they want to call him the Demon King, which I was like,
no, the Demon, I'm dealing with the Demon because of your goddamn story now. You revived the Demon. All right.
Okay. That is true. Anyway, so we'll have to see what exactly, if this plays a part at all, obviously, but I would like to think it does. So we'll see. But then we finally get to the main event where, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet, but I said I cannot guarantee that I won't be feral during this match. And let me tell you.
How feral? How feral were you?
I was very feral. And I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, because I felt like they did not give this match enough time. And maybe this is just because this was kind of an appetizer to what I think could eventually be a really great pay-per-view match. We've all been waiting to see this match, and they barely gave it like 15 minutes. So that was a little bit disappointing. Also didn't love the ending. I get it, right? I get that they're trying to make Gunther look like, hey, I can beat you in multiple ways. I can even put your ass to sleep. Look what I did to Finn Balor, right? I think part of it was also the crowd sucked. Wisconsin?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Was it Wisconsin? No, it was Minnesota. Minnesota, you suck, bro. You're never getting a WrestleMania. You're never getting a Mania. You think you deserved a Mania over Philly? What?
Like Minnesota was a lackluster crowd. It felt like they were off. They were just not. They weren't loud. They weren't into it. It felt like when they were told to chant, or the moments that you're like, oh, it's time to do this now. Like it felt like this is when we do it. So they went all out for like 2 of them to get like on TV.
Like,
and then they were gone.
To an extent, I get it simply because it is a heel versus a heel, so it splits the crowd. They're
I'm saying the whole show though.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. I just meant like at the main event. Like there were cheers for Finn, but I think this is why they don't do it, because it's harder for people to cheer or decide to cheer when it's 2 heels versus when it's 2 baby faces. But I think that people, I don't know, these are people that are just like, I cheer for my favorite and that's it. They can't just appreciate a good wrestling match, and that's exactly what this was. So I think that is kind of unfortunate, because I would have been so into this match, not because Finn Balor is one of my all-time favorites and Gunther is somebody that I'm obsessed with, but because you knew it was going to be a fantastic match. And so I feel like people kind of missed the opportunity to enjoy that for what it was. So I do appreciate that this match happened. I think Finn looked great. Gunther looked great. Obviously, he showed that he could be even more of a threat to Damian than Damian thought previously, because all he wants to say is like, I'm so mad at you for calling me street trash, you asshole. And I'm like, Damian, shut up, okay? Stop crying.
He did.
But he calm down. But this
Gunther did have everything handed to him. I'm just saying.
Stop it.
Did you listen to what Damian Priest said?
Stop it.
The Here You Go was pretty good. That was I was a big fan of the Here You Go. Okay. Here You Go. Like it flowed well. I was a big fan of the iambic pentameter to say of the promo.
Anyway, so once Gunther wins, because Finn Balor can simply not participate anymore, and he tries to choke him out even more, which I was like, Gunther, I love you, but stop. That's when Priest comes out and he's like, So I don't know if he was really out there to defend his boy Fergie, or if he was just out there to kick some ass in the go-home show before SummerSlam. I don't know. Maybe it was a combination of both. But if we go historically off of how wrestling does things, the person who stands tall at the go-home show does not win at the following pay-per-view. So if we look at that, at first you see Gunther winning and you're like, oh, okay, he's standing tall, right? Like, ooh, okay. But Damian comes out and just beats him, and he's standing tall when Raw ends. So does that mean anything? Could that mean that Damian is not going to be a champion Saturday night? I don't know.
I will give my real 100% answer. I'll go 70%. No, I'll go 60. I won't go that crazy. But full 100% emotional answer on Thursday for that show. But right now, there is no way in hell you can't keep that title on Damian Priest. I know that promo was so great, and I'm obsessed currently with how he's transforming into that lovable champion and just a good guy. I know you do, but that's not the point.
Yeah.
And he doesn't need a belt anymore. It did its job. It did its job. We like Damian Priest. We want to see him on TV and at live shows. The job of the belt right now is to be strapped and locked on Gunther. That is all I will say for now.
Yeah.
So I can let you go crazy here.
Well, I know people aren't going to listen to me anyway, because he's literally sitting on the stream. But
Gunther, do you see me acknowledge you? I acknowledge my King General. All right.
So my thing is 2 things. One, I think that people are really trying to rewrite Damian Priest's title reign, because I still do not think that it's been as great as people are trying to say it has been over the past week. Over the past week, people are acting like this has been a phenomenal title run. No. Just over the last week or two, which I still think you guys what are we doing? Like you have short-term memory in the way that Vince McMahon wanted you to have, because has he had some really good title defense matches? Yes. But as I said, last week or 2 weeks ago, stop acting like this has been a good title reign when you've been complaining about it until 2 weeks ago. Until he basically came out and just started beating up Gunther, everybody hated his title reign. So I don't know how him just deciding he was sick of listening to what Gunther had to say and started beating him up, that all of a sudden drastically changed their viewpoint on his title, but whatever. So I have that issue. But my other issue that I keep talking about, even online, and people are questioning me, is I don't know who should win the match or who will win the match. The question that I have that people cannot provide an answer for yet is, how do you legitimately have Gunther lose? No one can answer that. All of the people that are saying Damian Priest should retain, he needs to retain this and that and that. When I say, how does Gunther credibly lose? They don't have an answer. They just say that it can happen. How? Tell me how it can happen.
You can't have Damian Priest pin Gunther clean.
Nope.
On top of that, you can't have Damian Priest win another title defense with interference. That's why I am saying the title reign did its job. Yes. Now let's pass the torch and move on to the other story that Damian Priest has to deal with, and that is the avalanche that is the fall of Judgment Day.
Well, and that's why I say, like, I don't know how it's going to happen. We've seen people say that maybe Finn will get involved and try, maybe he costs Damian the title, which would go along with Dom helping Liv, at whatever point at SummerSlam. So I think that when it comes to the storyline for Damian, it doesn't involve the title anymore. His storyline is going to be within the Judgment Day and dealing with whatever is going on within the Judgment Day. It's kind of the same thing with like the bloodline and stuff on SmackDown. It doesn't involve the title. It involves who's the tribal chief. So Solo doesn't necessarily need the title unless Roman's going to be returning, I guess, on at SummerSlam. But I think that having the Judgment Day like fall apart, that makes it an easy transition for Damian to lose the title, and then already has like a storyline going. Like there's already something else for him to be invested in, involved in, whatever. Whereas this feud with Gunther only started because he won King of the Ring, and now it's SummerSlam, and that's when his title match was scheduled. This is not a feud beyond the last 3 weeks. You know what I mean? Like none of that. It's not deep. It's just like, okay, Gunther won King of the Ring. This is the direction he's going in. And it's like, so if Gunther doesn't win at SummerSlam, which I still don't understand how you do that, he has to win at Bash in Berlin. So count your days, Priest, because you ain't going to retain it at Bash in Berlin. That's for sure. I still just don't know how we get there, though. They're going to have to show me how they could have him legitimately lose, because I don't think that many people, if you actually look at what Gunther has accomplished in his career, there's not a whole lot that they could do. Like Gunther's barely been pinned. So in his entire career, and it's not just like, I know. And it's like the way they built it up for Mania and how much Sammy had to do and had to go through in order to get the 1, 2, 3 to win the Intercontinental title. I'm supposed to believe that Damian Priest is going to be able to do more than what Sami Zayn did. I don't know.
I love how we both love Gunther, but for why we started to like him for different reasons, because I found him on the indies. That's what I was gonna. I think it's fun.
Jay, we know he doesn't suck though. He doesn't suck. You're one of the only
King General.
Yeah,
the King General can't suck. He's the King of the Ring General.
Gunther's gonna be the face of the company, brother. At some point, I'm sorry to tell you, but that's how it's gonna be. I get people don't. This is the thing, and I've said this before. You don't have to like Gunther. You don't have to be a fan of his. You don't have to buy his merch. You don't have to buy his action figures. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to watch an episode of Raw because Gunther's going to be on it. You don't have to. But the idea that he sucks is the part that I can't comprehend. I don't like CM Punk. Never have, likely never will. But I could never say that he sucks in a like legitimate way. Could I say he sucks? Yeah, because if he does something I didn't like, or like I'm mad that he beat someone that I'm a fan of, but I would never say like, oh, he sucks on the mic, he sucks in the ring, he sucks. Like I could never say that. So that's the thing that is like really confusing to me, because like Gunther doesn't suck. At the end of the day, he does not suck. And Jay is not going to be the face of the company. Stop it. Mid-Carter at best. High mid-Carter at best. Stop it. Go talk to Rikishi, Jay. Rikishi is not happy about Jay's booking either, but he's right where he belongs. Okay, he's not main event Jay Uso. He's high mid card Jay Uso. That's who he is. High mid card Jay Uso. That is a cool name. Sounds a little bit better than main event Jay Uso. High mid card Jay Uso. That's who I rock with.
I just saw a tweet of Mercedes Moné was at Comic-Con and saw a fan, or she was chanting it from a balcony saying like CEO, and a fan chanted back at her DMD. I'm like, yeah, we stand the doctor here. All right.
Whatever.
We stand the DMD in the Yard of Streams and no nights off.
But see, doesn't make sense.
All right. Well, you know what, Jay? If he doesn't entertain you, go find your,
But see, like that would be like me saying Jay Uso sucks, because I don't think he's not entertaining. Jay Uso is not as good as people think he is, but I still think he's a fantastic tag team wrestler. So
you're missing it. You're just
me.
He's so good.
He's not as a good singles.
The potential's there. No, I'm saying potential wise. No,
he's not a main event guy. He's not a main event guy. I
disagree. He can be a main event guy.
He's not. He's not.
Not yet, but yes, he is.
He's not going to be. He's never going to be. He's 37 years old or whatever he is. It's not happening. Stop.
He could be a main eventer in 2 years, hands down. Yes.
Not going to be a main eventer. I promise you. It's not happening.
It's already main evented.
It's not happening. It's not happening.
Okay.
It's not.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That's all the time we got here for you in the Yard of Streams. Thank you guys for tuning into this edition of the Raw Rewind powered by No Nights Off. Go hit that subscribe button, guys. Please hit that subscribe button, bell notifications to know when we go live.
And follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on TikTok. Follow us follow us TikTok. No Nights Off Show. Sarah's been posting some videos. I'm about to go make one. I kind of want to make one of those top 10s or something.
Yeah, we're trying to post some more like unique content on there. I'd like to put them over on YouTube as well to make YouTube shorts. The problem is that YouTube shorts are limited to 60 seconds, so that's why it's a little bit more difficult.
I know.
So
you kind of exceed that limit.
It's just like it's a lot so like when I'm editing a clip or something to put it on YouTube, or I'm sorry, to put it on TikTok, I don't limit myself to being only a minute. I usually try to do it in like under 3 minutes.
It's a video,
yeah, because TikTok you could post things that are longer, but to a minute it's a lot of editing, so I don't have the patience to do that all the time, so that's why I haven't been posting on YouTube Shorts. So but yeah,
so go follow us there. Go follow.
Thanks, Andy.
I was supposed to thank you, Andy.
Nice, thank you.
Appreciate it, my dude. So go follow us if you like the good show. Go follow us for more content like that. We'll be back. Well, we're gonna be back on Thursday for our SummerSlam predictions and what else is going on in the Wrestleverse. And if you're a true peep, a loyal peep, I'll name drop here. Bernard's one. He joined last week. To the Bad Gal tomorrow. All right. I don't know what time yet because I got the champ's busy. Sarah. All right. I don't know what time I'm gonna get out of work in the gym. Fit pits.
Working on my fitness.
For Pitsalicious. I like that. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna table that. Get Pitsalicious with me over on twitch.tv/Nonsense Sports Network, where I play WWE 2K career mode as the Bad Gal herself, Sarah Marshall over here.
That's me.
Just a heads up, if you do tune in tomorrow and you are new, Sarah has been possessed. All right. I'll explain on the stream why she is when I do my previously on the Bad Gals. But not right now because we got to wrap up the show. And I think the fact that I'm starting off the stream tomorrow with Sara Possessed and the demon Finn Balor is aligned with you. We're in for a hell of a stream tomorrow. I'm very excited for it. And I'm very excited for Thursday. No stream on Saturday. All right.
Yeah,
no.
because of SummerSlam.
Exactly. There's a bigger show that's way more popular than us that we even are not even going to be here for. That we're going to watch.
Yeah,
so.
Depending on when it ends and whatever, we might be able to go live. But we'll see.
To give if something. So we want to do like what we did with Extreme, like if Bray returned Extreme Rules, we went live. Or...
Yeah, I mean, if like something, if Dom turns on Liv or the Roman returns or it's The Rock or something, then we can like hop on when the show's over and just give our thoughts.
I'll give like a Rock return, a Roman.
Yeah, but otherwise maybe on Sunday or I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. That's why you got to subscribe and hit that bell notification to know every time we post and go live. Go watch NXT right now and even enjoy it while you're at it. So thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Remember that you can do it. All you got to do is try. We will see you this week again. We'll see you soon. Yeah.